Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I am Crash Rowsell, and it's once again time to Crash Skylands with another episode of Discuss The Skylands here on the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming to another episode of this series. We are 8 episodes in right now. Thank you all so much for watching this series. It means a lot to me that you guys are coming back and watching this series every single Thursday, where we discuss some of the best things about Skylanders. And today's the week that you kind of sensed was coming, in my opinion. I feel like you guys knew that at some point I was going to try to talk about a new Skylanders game. Of course. Exactly. You're right. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about my future idea for a Skylanders game. Now, I did a video on the channel years ago where I talked about 5 ideas for future Skylander game. I talked about, like a origin story. I talked about Skylanders Go. There's a Chaos mini story. Pretty good ideas in my opinion. But nothing beats the idea I have in my head right now. So if you look at Imaginators, how the fact that you have different classes and they all have different moves and all that stuff, and when you set it up, it literally gives you the option to have one class. So like you have to be a brawler, you have to be a smasher, you have to be a sorcerer. What about if they gave you the option where you can just switch out and be what you want? So you have a Skylander. Let's say Pinata. Ironic from last week. You take Pinata, you put him on the portal, and he has a smashing lollipop, and you say, you know what? I kind of want him to have guns. So you just take the lollipop off, put a gun in his hand. Now he has candy shooters. So you can switch out weapons for whatever you need. So for me, I would love to be able to do a level where I know I need to have some closer range, and I'm a range attacker. So I'm like, so Trigger Happy's got guns? No, he's going to have a mace now. So I give Trigger Happy mace, and he just starts smashing down like he's crazy. Imagine that. That'd be really cool. And then out of nowhere, once the level's done, pop out the mace, throw the guns in there. Maybe not his golden guns, maybe I'll give him, tide pool shooters. So he uses a water move, and see what he likes with that. And every Skylander has their own unique ability while using those weapons. So my idea is interchangeable weapons in Skylanders. So you have a figurine, you can take out the weapon of the Skylander and put a new weapon in there. Think about what Starlink did, actually. Starlink literally had a thing where you have ships, and you can interchange the weapons at any time. And I think that's what I would like to see for Skylanders. So of course, we'll have some new Skylanders, we'll have some old Skylanders that are in like a certain pose where they can hold the thing, and we know you can do it. Toys for Bob and Activision and Vicarious Visions and Beanox, I know you can do it. Because of the fact that Swap Force exists, and where you can literally, take a Skylander and rip it in half, and it still works. So I know you can do it. So imagine this, and you just pop off his thing and put a mace in there. And now he starts using a mace. It'd be pretty cool. It's cool to see what kind of variants you can do, like to be like, man, maybe Trigger Happy should have been a brawler instead of a shooty guy, even though his name is Trigger Happy. Also, you look at it and you see like Terrafin and Stealth Elf for some reason turning into guns, which Stealth Elves wasn't great, Terrafin was alright, but they're better as brawlers. But then, I wonder what they'd be like if they had just, handguns. So you just switch out their weapons, and then you have handguns. Or instead of having the actual figurines, just make it digital. You have the Skylander, you press select or whatever it is on your controller. It brings you to the character screen. Switch out the weapons. You're good to go. You got guns now. Or you got the mace. Or you have a Gatling hook or something like that. Just 100 other weapons you can use. And just keep switching out between your Skylanders at any point. And then imagine going around and playing the game and unlocking more weapons. Becoming a looter shooter. Turning Skylanders to a looter shooter. Kind of like Destiny or Borderlands in a way. Not as competitive and toxic as a community as that. But imagine going and completing a quest and then at the end getting a loot box and it gives you weapons. And you're like, oh man, I got a legendary axe, so I can use that next time. That's pretty cool. I would love that idea for that. I love games like that where you can go around and collect things like that. Now, of course, you can probably get the digital one. Maybe there should be a couple digital versions and a couple physical versions. So like you can only get physical versions when you buy the actual figurines, or like a blind bag that has like 2 or 3 different weapons in it. Or just even one, for example, like for $5 a piece, get a blind bag weapon or something. Or you have digital version where you can buy a digital box and unlock like 3 or 4, microtransactions. That's right, I approve of microtransactions in Skylanders. Ding! Someone put that there. But yeah, that's what I look at it as. I would love to see interchangeable weapons and be able to take different Skylanders and just put them all together and all that stuff. I think that'd be really, really cool to see, definitely in the future of the games. It's something I'd like to see because I've always thought about taking a Skylander and putting something else on it, like having Spyro with a gun on his back, you know? It's weird. I'd like to see that. So that's my idea for a future Skylander game, especially with the microtransaction idea. Don't quote me on that. You did already, so that's fine. But that's my idea for Skylanders, and it's pretty great, I gotta say. I like that one. Now, that is the future, but there are some pasts, and thinking about that, how in the world are they gonna handle Chaos in that game? Or Chaos in any game now, for that matter. Well, think about it. You did trap him in Trap Team, and he still came back in Superchargers. Then he teamed up with you in Superchargers, but he still became a villain in Imaginators. Then he betrayed the darkness, or not the darkness, the Eye. Or the Eye betrayed him, and the Eye became your friend. So, like, I don't understand. But regardless, Chaos is a very big impact in Skylanders. You can see his light comes pouring through my blinds for some reason. And, yeah, I think we're going to talk about a Chaos boss fight next week. We'll see what my favorite one is. But for now, you guys leave me your future Skylander game ideas or what you would like to see added in a future game. Even if it's just a simple thing like, I just want a HD remaster of the original game. I think we all do. It's coming on 10 years, baby. We're almost there. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Discuss the Skylands. As always, leave your comments below, and I will heart them and like them and read them and say, wow, that's a great comment. Or as Dobbs would say, I don't know if you ever watch Ethan Dobbs on YouTube, whoa, that's crazy. He says it in every video at the end. Regardless, though, thank you all so much for tuning in and reacting to this episode. Hopefully I see all your comments in the discussion below. Come back next week for the episode of Chaos Boss Fights, and which one my favorite is. But as always, I bid you farewell.